In this video, I want to break down exactly what was said, why it matters so much, and also touch on some extremely important developments surrounding XRP that you need to understand. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Let's start with a statistic that honestly stopped me in my tracks when I first saw it. This is related to XRP trading activity on an exchange that most people in the United States rarely pay attention to, and that exchange is Upbit. Upbit is based outside the US, which is exactly why this data often flies under the radar. But when you look at what's actually happening internationally, the picture becomes very clear. In South Korea alone, over 1 trillion XRP in volume was processed through Upbit. That number is massive. It's not just large, it's eye-opening. I never would have expected to see that kind of volume coming out of a single international market, especially when so much of the US market still feels relatively disconnected from XRP activity. What this really highlights is how strong Ripple and XRP adoption has become outside of the United States. In markets like South Korea and Japan, XRP has quietly turned into a major hub of activity. In some cases, XRP trading volume has even surpassed Bitcoin on certain exchanges. That might sound unbelievable to people who only follow US-based platforms, but internationally, this has been playing out for a while now. The reality is that many Americans simply don't see this level of adoption because the US market has been operating in a kind of bubble. This actually ties directly into something I've talked about repeatedly during the Ripple versus SEC case. While Ripple was being pushed out of the US market, something very important was happening behind the scenes. Instead of shutting down or stagnating like many other crypto projects, Ripple expanded aggressively on a global scale. While other companies were clinging desperately to whatever foothold they could maintain in the US, Ripple redirected its energy toward regions that were open, forward-thinking, and ready to adopt blockchain-based financial infrastructure. Because Ripple has been around for a long time, has deep resources, and operates at a very structured corporate level, they were able to continue building while much of the rest of the industry slowed down. At the time, this wasn't ideal for US adoption, but let's be honest, very little real progress was happening in the US anyway. Now, years later, we're starting to see the payoff from that international focus. Ripple is positioned to re-engage the US market from a place of strength, not desperation. And that brings us to something else extremely important that's happening right now. A lot of people have been frustrated by delays surrounding regulatory clarity, especially after expectations were set around new legislation. But what's happening beneath the surface is far more revealing than any single bill passing or failing. Recently, Bank of America's CEO openly stated that interest-bearing stablecoins could potentially pull $6 trillion out of traditional bank deposits. He warned that this could increase borrowing costs for small businesses that rely on banks for lending. Let's pause on that for a second. What was just said there is the quiet part that banks never wanted to say publicly. That statement is effectively an admission that crypto-based financial products are better than traditional banking products. It's an acknowledgement that if people are given access to more efficient, higher-yield options, they will leave legacy banks behind. This isn't speculation anymore. This is coming straight from the top of the banking system. What makes this even more interesting is how aggressively the banking lobby is pushing back against stablecoin innovation. This isn't because crypto is irrelevant. It's because crypto works. If this entire industry was really just a fad, if it was truly meaningless, banks wouldn't be spending massive resources trying to slow it down. They wouldn't be asking regulators to step in and protect them. Their actions are revealing the truth far more clearly than their words ever could. For years, we heard statements like, "Crypto is useless, it's rat poison, or it's a retail distraction." But if any of that were true, there would be no reason for banks to feel threatened. The fact that they are openly admitting that money could flood out of the traditional banking system tells us everything we need to know. The disruption isn't coming someday. It's already here. And while this might not result in immediate price movement tomorrow or the next day, from a long-term perspective, this is one of the strongest confirmations imaginable. For anyone who has been in crypto for a long time and endured years of doubt, this moment matters. The institutions that once dismissed this entire space are now openly acknowledging that they cannot compete without regulatory protection. This also brings us to a deeper conversation about adoption and value. A lot of people get caught up analyzing technical specifications, transactions per second, white papers, roadmaps, and theoretical use cases. All of that has its place. But at the end of the day, asset appreciation comes down to one thing: demand. XRP has a fixed supply. That means demand is the variable that truly matters. And here's the key point: demand doesn't care why it exists. Whether it's driven by speculation, institutional usage, retail interest, or even hypothetical scenarios where major figures decide to accumulate, demand is demand. The source doesn't change the outcome. What's especially overlooked is the role of the XRP community itself. Right now, XRP consistently ranks among the most talked about assets on major social platforms, right alongside names like Bitcoin, Tesla, and other heavily discussed financial instruments. That level of attention matters. In the world we're moving into, visibility and awareness directly influence demand. And despite the fact that only a small percentage of the global population truly understands XRP, those who do are intensely engaged. It's not casual interest, it's fascination, it's obsession. This is the intangible advantage XRP has. Other projects may boast impressive technology or ambitious promises, but without sustained attention and growing demand, those qualities don't translate into real momentum. With XRP, the demand is already visible, it's measurable, it's happening in real time. That's not something that needs to be debated, it's something that can be observed. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching.